remove that. Well, howdy, everyone. Welcome to the 72nd episode. Not anniversary, but episode. No mean? No mean? It's good. It's good. It's a Tuesday, Man-O-Rama. Let's get into it, guys. Today is my red. How's your week been?
Oh, it's been fantastic, Steve. It's been fantastic. I've been spending time cutting down trees. We cut down a 140-year-old tree today that was planted in 1885.
How
about 80 feet tall. About 80 feet tall. Well, it was dead. We didn't kill it.
It was dead.
It died of natural
yeah,
causes.
No. Just a lot of.
I have something for that.
Yeah, just a lot of outdoor. A lot of outdoor stuff. I set up the tent here, and it's been a great week. It looks like I'm going to be doing some more Zamboni training tomorrow in the local rink. So, yeah.
It's like the Zamboni. Eh? What did that tree know about Hillary Clinton's email server?
1880. Ooh, I bet you it knew a lot.
Well, we'll never know.
140.
We'll never know.
Dead now.
You dear done dead.
It was dead.
Tom, how's your week been?
Busy, good, trying to figure stuff out, getting myself going, and looking forward to tonight's show. So a lot of past stories. But speaking of Zambonis, the Leaf Zamboni worker actually might get to work a little bit longer this year. Wow, they actually won last night. It's like, whoa,
wow.
I know, beat Boston. It's like now it's tied 1-1 in the series. Like, oh, and I'm a Habs fan. My boys lost way back when, but whatever.
Jeff, how's your week been?
Well, I was unsupervised. Sorry, that's an inside joke for me and Orty. My son turned 16 Sunday. Not going to lie, I'm still struggling. But he really enjoyed his birthday present, which was a halberd, because that's the one thing he asked for. So when a kid asks for a medieval weapon for his birthday, you get your kid a medieval weapon for his birthday.
That's cool.
So other than that, it's good. I can see again out of my left eye.
There you go.
Good to be here.
Cool. Orty, how's your week been?
You know what? It's been pretty. I mean, as good as it can be when you're on antibiotics. But I had a CAT scan yesterday. The appendicitis has calmed down. I get to go back to work, which I'm excited about. And then, as excited as you can be about that. But at least I'm being paroled. And then, we can start moving forward on getting that fucker yanked out. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Awesome.
There you go.
And I have finished Pornhub. There's nothing less for me to watch.
Wow.
Well,
They
then.
have an animal.
You give me 2 weeks off work. What do you think's going to happen?
I know, right?
That Tijuana catalog's pretty extensive.
Was.
Andy, how's your week been?
Well, I was shocked to find out that women are paying to have salmon sperm injected into their hoo-has. So I
You've been reading my feed.
I figured that has to be that goes to the list of something I didn't expect this week. So
Hey, Daddy, what are we going to be when we grow up? Oh, we're going to be great salmon to swim up lake in the great lake rivers of Alaska.
That's our trap. Yeah, so no hot water no water heater explosions this week. No toilet seat breakage. So far pretty good.
That's good. I know there's one other person who's going to be coming on. I know with StreamYards, I can only have 6 people on at a time, which is okay. So I'll go back and forth rotating and stuff. So if I sent them the link, because it's Bushmill. I say Bushmill. I don't know. It's Tyron.
I didn't even notice. We're back on StreamYard.
Yeah, because I have camera issues. It's not Rumble Studios isn't giving me like full on issues. It's just my camera's not turning on there, so I'm doing everything on StreamYards. So I'm doing like 4 different things right now. So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. My week it was fun. It was interesting. I did a men's conference at my church, and that was probably the most well thought out idea I could ever think of doing is actually doing that. I learned a lot, and yeah, I think if any guy wants to learn how to be a man, do those. It's a lot of fun. Because here's the thing: it's a lot of guys I noticed is when you go to these things, or if someone mentions, "Hey, go to these things," it's like, well, I don't. It's like uncomfortable, or it's out of your comfort zone, or something like that. Just do it. There's like 600 to 1,000 other guys. Like they're all doing the same thing. It's cool. It's kind of cool. I met a lot of guys. I met the former tight end for the 49ers and Steelers, Vance McDonald, at the men's conference. So that was kind of cool. It's kind of weird when you're a guy who's 5'4", almost hitting 37, and then you meet the guy and he's like 33. I'm like, Jesus, dude, you're tall. It's really weird knowing like I'm older than you by a few years, but you're like 6'2", and I'm just a gray-haired, short little midget. Oh.
I know that feeling. When I was out in the hard camp, it was the same. I'm like, everybody's so tall, and I'm only like 5'6". Like, hi.
Yeah.
You know, going back to the salmon thing real quick that Andy was talking about, that just again proves that Frank Herbert was prophetic with his. Nobody knew where the fish speakers, where he got the idea for that. So now we know.
Now we talked about that today on the Comic Relief Crusader. He's mentioned one of the news clips, and it's like, what? And I guess it's real. So it's like, oh my god, what? Women putting fish in there. Yeah.
I mean, how much will they pay me?
Well, and not just that, but it's like if you read the article, Jennifer Aniston did it on her face, which made it even hotter.
So I'd do something else on her face, but I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, you know,
I have a question.
Hi, my name is Salmon.
If you tell
they paid $500 for it too.
Woman that it smells fishy now, is that a compliment?
Yeah, they've really been working at it.
There's only one way to find out, man. Let's see how that goes.
It's like 6-year-old, and I'm a happy guy.
Like sloppy seconds from Marlon.
Right.
So we're going to get into our next segment. Even though last week we weren't able to do all this stuff, we're bringing it this week. Now that I've actually figured it all out with StreamYards, you guys know what it is. It's
Twitter.
That's right, guys.
Twitter.
Don't be that guy. It's our favorite segment, where I have to get this all set up here. You're all probably going to see a pop-up. Oh, well, here goes nothing. All right, here's the first one. I don't know if we did this. This is the things. I don't remember it, but we'll go for this one. The person you're crushing on probably looks at all your sad posts and think, I'm staying away from that train wreck. I don't know why I picked this one. It sounded funny.
Just at me, Steve. Yeesh.
I know. I like how it has 666
retweet. Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I don't even know why I picked this one.
Because it's accurate.
I don't know.
No, it is absolutely accurate.
I mean, they're not wrong.
No, not. It's. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll go to the next one. This one is Pokimane, our favorite simp magnet.
She is more of a retard magnet than Orty is.
I know, let's not get crazy. She gets totally
it's close.
Okay.
This one, Pokimane said, I landed in Texas. Where the F are all the cowboys? And then this guy said, I ain't a cowboy, but Jeff, what's the issue with this one?
Where do we begin? I mean, okay, if it's a friend, it's a good little, joke. But the problem when it comes to especially this Pokimane's feed, it's not. And they're trying to get a door open that it's not going to ever open for you.
You're not a cowboy, but
yeah, don't waste. I mean, she's already been ridden more than Seattle Slew, so don't try to be the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy, What do you see the problem with this? Or is there no problem?
Well, look, you always run the risk of being that guy when you make these jokes. Now, if you have a relationship like a friendly relationship with somebody, with a young lady or maybe not so young lady on the internet, and you know that if you throw one of these things out, there's going to be a volley back and forth, and you can laugh back and forth with each other. That's one thing. When you're just throwing these things out, like I saw this video clip.
It's on YouTube.
This girl, she's doing this whole thing where she's got this little tank top on, and she's like, and I'm like looking at this thing like, what's the purpose is going on here? Because it was on Instagram or something like that, or like it was reels, and she's kind of turning to the side. She doesn't have underwear on, or maybe she's got a thong or something, and then she puts the thing on, and she slides the tight little lycra pants on and stuff, and she's maybe, I don't know, 18 years old or so, and I'm like, and I'm looking at all these kind of sick little comments like, oh my God, you're an angel, like, where are you at, and all this stuff, and I'm like, they're thinking, do you actually believe this is going to work? Do you actually think in your mind that this is actually going to work for you? Because if you do, I think I found your problem. I think I can understand why it's not working for you.
Yeah.
Get out in the real world. Make yourself attractive. Make yourself appealing. If that's not, an option for you, if like you're an ugly son of a bitch, go get a job where you make a lot of money.
Why am I being attacked?
Funny.
Funny is important. They love a humor. That's what I say.
Yeah. But yeah, find an alternate route. It's just, everybody should look at this as kind of sad. It's like, unless you know that you're going to volley back and forth with somebody, don't even bother, because it just makes you look, your credibility and value just went down like several notches whenever you even reply to something like this. So don't do that.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring in Tyron, if he's there. Tyron, can you hear us?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we all tonight?
Yeah,
Pretty
look
good.
at him using his accent. Look at him showing off there.
Get
You
your
don't hear the Canadians. You don't hear the Canadians using their accents, eh?
Well, put a shrimp on the barbie.
Darn, I'm gonna have to start using here for sure. For sure. Yeah.
How are we all tonight, gentlemen? It's good to be in such esteemed company again. I've been looking forward to this one all week. As soon as you told me the topic, I was like, dude, have me on for that, please.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Right now, we're doing Don't Be That Guy. It's pretty much, we make fun of simps, but we also critique them, helpful tips. So I don't know if you know Pokimane. If you don't, God bless you.
I do not know Pokemon.
Good for you. She said, I want to get your opinion on this one, and we'll get to the next tweet, and then we'll move on to more of a question, and then we're going to do another segment that everyone, it's one of my favorites for Canadian Spider-Man specifically. But she said, landed in Texas, where the F are all the cowboys? This guy, I don't even know how you say it, Aru, with the moon and a star and something. Deputy Aru, I ain't a cowboy, but since on a level of 0 to 10, how cringe is I ain't a cowboy, but
I have got no idea of the context of this at all.
Easy 4.
We're easily 4.
She wants to be rode hard and put away wet, and she couldn't find a cowboy.
Yeah,
pretty much.
All right, here is the.
That's pretty bad.
All right, call me a homer because all I do is simp, son. Now, here's the thing. Some of these tweets can be just trolling, We're not trolling. Canadian Spider-Man. Do you think this guy is just trolling?
I think so. 100%.
Okay.
If he's old enough to be calling people son, absolutely. Yeah, he's 100% trolling. 100%. Yep.
Orty. He might have stepped out. Andy.
Yeah, I think he's trolling. I think he's just like, and it's good though, because you're throwing that out there, and it's like, so anybody who's contemplating simping is probably going to be like, yeah, maybe it's not a good idea. I think I'll back off that.
Hey, Steve, can you put that back up?
Oh crap. Yeah, hold on. I gotta do all this again. Okay. I just realized I said Orty and I put him in the background.
In the back room.
And then
Yep. That's funny.
I'll see, I'm gonna rotate everyone out. Don't worry. Just because Rumble StreamYards, I can only have 6 people on, so I have to.
I got you set up. I got you looked after for next week if you want, Steve.
Huh?
You can have 10 on my.
Okay. Hey, how you doing? All right, here we go.
I just want to know why did you dox Canadian Spider-Man's second account? Because look at that picture.
Oh my
does look
god.
young.
Yeah. He's,
He does look
I
young.
don't think so. I think I'm older than he is.
Cool, Simpson.
But I want to. So tonight we're talking about camping, and we'll get to the next subject, next segment, which is going to be hombre or señorita. I make this very. Kyron is new to this, so he's going to be very fresh eyes on this one.
It's not
I
good.
don't even want to try. The last time I watched this back, I was petrified to be put on the spot with something like this.
Guess what, buddy? No mercy.
I think I would have made a lot of mistakes back in my day. Back in the day, I think I would have been, that's confronting. That's not what I expected.
Nope, but, you can't ask what an Atari is anymore. You just got to look for the Adam's apple. Anyways, tonight we're talking about camping and why it's beneficial for men. I guarantee everyone on this panel has had some funny stories about camping. And yeah, so we'll go around. I'll bring Orty back in, so don't worry, Orty. You'll be heard soon. I know we all want to hear your Circle K stories. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. What's a fun memory of camping, Jeff?
Probably the bear poking its head trying to get into our tent. We had just set it up in the front yard. My son was a couple months old. We had our dog with us, and the dog just kept, shuffling and ruffling and all that. And we're like, what the hell's going on? And then you see this little, I won't say little, but this nose and this snout just kind of poking around the tent. Like, I smell something and I smell something. And then you're yelling, not sure what it is. And the next morning you go out and you see the bear prints. And it was just hilarious because we hadn't encountered a bear in the 3 years we've been camping in our front yard, even though they were always around. They've always been too skittish, and we always made sure we didn't camp in that area when they were, at their hungriest. So it was just kind of one of those, the bear was kind of curious. It was never, in a threatening mode, but yet one of those things where you just wake up the next morning and go, bear print next to the tent. Okay.
Interesting.
Being that close to something that can just end you like that.
Yeah. And then we really didn't have much of a care. It was kind of, I swear we weren't drunk or high. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I wasn't. I can't say anything about my ex.
Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah. 1987, the World Boy Scout Jamboree in Wollongong Park in Australia. Yeah, in New South Wales, Australia. It was fantastic. And yeah, we went camping. There was 120 different countries there. There was 1,000 Canadians there, and people from all the different countries. And that's when I learned that the Norwegian girls were the Boy Scouts in Norway and Europe. A lot of them are female, so that was a lot of fun. And the Texans, we had a cyclone tear through, or a hurricane tear through the campsite, leveled camps everywhere. I think there was 11 people injured. And here are the Texans. They were next to us. This Texan group had set up their supply tent underneath a flash flood drainage ditch that during storms, this would get all the water out of the campsite. They set up their tent over it. I don't know why. They had no more room, I guess. And so here the Texans are out. Instead of moving their shit in the middle of a hurricane, they're out there with pickaxes. I'm not kidding. Redirecting the trench around their supply tent, because it was unbelievable. So that was the funniest.
I'm proud of you, Texas. I'm fucking proud of you.
That was America. I'd never been camping with Americans before, and wow, okay, that's different. So that was good. That was a good fun. It was a month or 2 weeks. I was there for a month. We were there at the camping site for 2 weeks. It was great. Tyrone might even know where Wollongong National Scout or Cataract National Scout Park is.
I don't know the exact park, but Wollongong is an absolutely beautiful area, and that is well worth getting some camping in there. You've got the amazing ocean and beaches on the eastern side, and then it's not very far inland at all that you get these amazing mountain ranges and just some of the most abundant wildlife. Just vegetation is so impressive, beautiful forests, and just so many creatures everywhere. It's such a beautiful area.
Nice. Tyrant.
Yes. I was just telling a story. I was back in the day. I think things have changed so much now compared to when we were kids. But I was in the Air Force Cadets for a little while, and they taught us a fair bit about bushcraft and survival outdoors and whatnot. And I remember one time they got us all ready for the camp. We stayed overnight at the parade grounds, and we got all geared up. We were put into cars probably at about 5 o'clock in the morning. It was still dark. We drove out of town for about an hour, and we were left on the side of the highway, and they said, we'll meet you here at sunset. And they just dropped us off, man. And that was our job, was to just hike and navigate in. And we were told, if you need to start a signal fire or whatever, do that. If you need water, you're on your own apart from what you've got. So, we were given maps and coordinates and told to meet up. And that was just great. I don't think you could do that these days. Like, I really feel like they just threw us in the thick of it, because we were like 14, 15 years old at the time. But I love those sorts of experience, being able to go out with a whole bunch of lads, some older, some in leadership positions, some guys who had no idea about hiking or bushwalking at all, and others of us that just thrived on being outdoors in nature and just having that, I don't know, there's an innate ability in some people to be able to navigate, to be able to look at your environment as all sorts of threats and opportunities that you might not otherwise be in tune with. And as soon as you get outdoors, you're just on. And I think I was at that age where I just realized I was an outdoors man, always. I love it. But yeah, that was cool, just being dropped off like that. And we'll see you at sunset. I hope you make it there. It was great. I loved it.
Well, I do a little backstory here. Here in New Jersey, in South Jersey, we have to the east the New Jersey Pine Barrens. This is a massive protected ecosystem, the largest uninterrupted pine forest on the East Coast anymore. And it's pretty desolate out there. And we have the Wharton State Forest. And everybody likes to go camping in the Wharton Track. However, it hasn't always been associated with just pleasant camping experiences. See, back in the early 1700s, there was a family that lived in the Pine Barrens called the Leeds family. Mother Leeds had herself 12 kids because her husband didn't have any other hobbies. She said, this next one's going to be the devil. And she gives birth to her 13th child, and it pops out with hooves and bat wings and flies up the chimney and out the door and has terrorized the community ever since. The Jersey Devil has been spotted by many people of good standing. Even Stephen Decatur, who was the leader of the Continental Navy during the Revolutionary War, he reported to have seen it. And several others, even up into the early 20th century. So what does this have to do with camping? Whenever you're out camping with your friends and you know where the girls are, which tent they're in, you never pass up the opportunity to go make some Jersey Devil noises. Scare the living hell out of the girls. So, which is always fun. Yeah. Oh, what's that? You get out there with some things and you flap them around.
And I've always been wondering all these years, just why a lot of girls don't enjoy camping as much as the men do. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. You've ruined the camping with women. Orty.
Where do I go after that?
I know, right? Good luck, Buttercup.
No, actually, okay, so I'm going to say probably my best camping is my first experience, where it had all of the trappings of massive burns from touching the coat hanger that was, for the marshmallows, to you just getting to spend time with Dad, shooting guns, learning woodcraft, all of it. My first camping memory. And I live in the Sierras. I've been camping. Just going outside is basically camping. But that's just the most memorable, most perfect weekend, I think. So didn't cry when I burnt myself. That's also when I, scoped myself and had that cut around my eye from the scope first time fired a third. Just all of it was just everything. Perfect. Perfect bonding with Dad.
Nice.
Love it.
Tom.
I'm trying to think here. I used to go camping in Belle Isle. I've done one in BC and didn't even have, but the weirdest thing, stupidest story, when you're a kid, you can't out, just take the tent, just go local.
You're kind of your mic is kind of going out a little bit.
All right, yeah, the mic is off. How's that now? We good?
You're good.
That's
okay. Cool. So yeah, we just take the tent and just wander around town and just find forests and just go me and a buddy. So we did 2 nights. First night, we were camped, little tent in the middle of nowhere. We're like 13, 14, whatever. We didn't care. And then a skunk comes locally and you smell it. So you just keep quiet, keep the thing, and you can smell it in the tent. They're not that, so we're like, okay, that sucks, but we still stay. We're not going to leave. So the next night, and we had a bunch of junk with us the next night. So we did, and we ate. I think we smelled worse than the skunk, and we had to literally leave the tent the next day. We were like smelled out of our own tent. We just oh my god, it was horrible, and I'll never forget it. It's just one of those things that, like, oh my god, and we realized like the skunk wasn't as bad as we were that night after. And we left, walked home, but just the stupidest thing. But yeah, no, that's the stupidest one and the funniest one I can ever remember. It just
nice. For me, it was middle school. We did this church kind of camping thing. No, I take that back. I was a volunteer youth leader, and we did this retreat with middle schoolers, and I played this really well. I convinced I was on the guy's side, and I convinced I was on the girl's side, and they all wanted to prank each other. I made them go to this water balloon battle, and I was like, hey, look, guys, they want to do this like camping water balloon fight thing. Here's the deal. I'm going to go fill up their balloons. And I told the same thing to the girls. Hey, look, I'll fill up your balloons or their balloons and stuff. So they all knew, but they didn't know, but they all knew I was a spy for them. but they didn't know I was a spy for myself. They all brought water balloons. I think there was like 300 balloons, and I got all the youth leaders and the pastor involved in this. And they're like, "How did you pull this off?" They all went, and they couldn't find their own balloons, and I took the time to fill them up while they're doing worship and the sermon stuff. And I was like, "All right, cool." We got all the guys, all the youth leaders, up on the roof, and they all met. The kids just met in the middle. We just bombarded them. And it was the greatest moment of my life. I achieved something that I'll never do again. I convinced both sides, and I was like, yes. And they still, to this day, do not know how this happened. One girl's like, "How did we lose our balloons?" And one guy's like, "What the heck's going on?" Like, I left coolers. I put stuffed animals in the coolers where the balloons are.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like a circle of cabins, and we just, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much. Oh man, good memories. I think I was like maybe 16 when that happened. Well, anyways, we come to one of my favorite segments, only because of Canadian Spider-Man and his mental capacity of this. We here at Man-O-Rama have broken Canadian Spider-Man, and we're still going to break him mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's right, guys. It's this. Oh, this is the part where it's become a life skill of, can you actually spot the difference? Is it a dude that looks like a chick, or is it an actual chick? Well, this segment, I've made it very specifically difficult for you guys. So yeah, let me pull this up here because Yahtzee. All right, we're gonna go with this one. All right.
No.
We'll go with Tyron. Is this a dude? Is this a hombre or a senorita?
All right, and now I'm actually sitting a fair way away from my main laptop. Let's have a look at this one. It's not a pretty chick if it's a chick. So I'm just going to say, I'm taking a hard pass one way or the other. I'm just going to say it may as well be a hombre, yeah.
All right.
Just in case, I'm just calling it that because ugly either way. Ugly dude.
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man. Hombre or senorita?
I recognize that person, and I think it's artificial life form at this point. Would be my guess. Yeah, like mostly inanimate object, mostly plastic. Certainly a material girl, although we don't know what kind of materials she's composed of. If plastic. She would apply.
Ordy.
Okay. During 16. During 2016, she put out an offer of anybody who voted for Hillary Clinton, she'd give a blowjob to. And I considered it for a minute. Not anymore. And
good answer.
I mean, was a woman
she's had some salmon.
What was a senorita?
All right. We'll get to the next one. I'm going to leave Canadian Spider-Man in the background, and I'll bring him in because this is where it is, because we can't hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
But it's going to be funny. That's what we're going to do. For this segment alone, we'll keep him in the background, and then we'll bring him in just for the few. I love his reaction. But here's the thing. I also like when Tom and then Mike, who's not able to be here because he has to do some stuff for work, and Canadian Spider-Man, whenever I show a picture, all I hear is, oh. I get a kick out of it. It's beauty. It's fantastic. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, guys.
Can I say one thing about that last
Yeah.
image? Never has my... If I could go back in time, not with a DeLorean because that movie sucks, but if I could go back in time... Can you imagine how confused my 18-year-old penis would be by saying one day Roseanne Barr would be prettier than that.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, now that you've spoken, Jeff, is this an hombre or senorita?
Hombre.
Hombre. All right. Tyron.
Yeah, I'm going with that call as well.
All right. Andy.
This had me thinking when I was making all the Dylan Mulvaney figures. I've got some leftover parts with a bag of dicks, and he's definitely a donor.
So do they.
So Canadian Spider-Man, our expert in knowing everything.
Dude, you know, I've been to Bangkok 4 times too. You'd think I'd know. That, I mean, look at the. See, I've known girls that have eyebrows like that and the hairline. I don't know any guys that have a hairline like that.
That's called Sasquatch, Steve.
Well, I am Canadian, so that's right up my alley. Yeah, that's a girl. That is a girl. I mean, have her turn around so I can be sure.
All right. Ordy.
That's a dude.
All right. Canadian or Tom.
I'm gonna go dude.
All right. The answer is it's a dude. Canadian Spider-Man.
Thank goodness.
Once again, in her face.
That's a dude. There's no way that's a dude.
Yeah. There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, well, I'm not dating ever again. I'll tell you that.
Canadian Spider-Man.
I was scared.
Hombre or senorita?
That's a girl, isn't it? Sure.
All right. Ordy.
That's a chick.
All right. Andy.
This is some manly looking hands. I'm going to say it's a guy.
All right. Tyron.
I want to say that Adam's apple's been airbrushed. That looks very filtered down there. I'm going with dude.
All right. Jeff.
Dude.
All right. What did Canadian Spider-Man say? A chick?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, it's a dude.
Oh.
Hold on.
As a photographer, I'm like,
I can't believe that's a dude, guys. That's wow.
Heavy editing.
I can't believe that's a dude.
I was fairly certain that was a chick, so I'm with you on that one.
This one was too pretty. Too pretty. I was going to get caught.
Here's what's the giveaway, guys. It's the eyes.
Yeah.
It's the eyes. That's, yeah. Because it threw me for a second. I was like, ooh. Then I was like, hold up. Oh, man. I love doing this. I love doing this for the sheer entertainment of you guys. Because I don't have to guess. That's the thing. All right. Canadian Spider-Man. Hombre or senorita?
That is a boy. That is definitely a boy.
I'm bringing this up to my main monitor.
Hey, Jack. That's a boy.
Andy.
That's guy. Yeah.
All right. Jeff.
And
what?
I am going to break the mold here and say chick.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's a chick as well.
All right. That's a dude.
Get out.
That I will say, this is one who is heavily already on hormones for years because the triangle of the face has been modified.
Not just that. I was thinking the freckle pattern because generally you don't see that. I mean, unless you're like Ron Howard. Yeah. But I was thinking the freckle pattern. You know,
this one has had it since young because the face, the triangle, upside down triangle, has been altered.
The features are much softer.
I'm not justifying
lady boy.
I'm not justifying my answer by saying, but I mean, I've picked up one before, so I have no shame.
All right. Tom.
As long as you put it back down, it's okay, Jeff.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a girl.
Tom.
Girl.
That's a girl?
Yeah.
Or Tyron.
All right. Trying to see that on my main screen. Come back to me after someone else. It's taking time to get to the main screen. There we go.
Ordy.
Okay, so because in front of, hang on, I'm going to give my rationale here. Because of obviously at an Entertainment Tonight comic, Entertainment Tonight thing, Comic-Con, whatever, and the number of stunning and brave trans actresses is very low, I would know who this is. Since I don't know who the fuck this is, I'm going to say it's a chick.
Okay. Canadian Spider-Man.
He's been scared off.
Oh, he is.
He scared
frozen.
him away.
He's frozen. Jeff.
Trick question. They identify as they, them.
Ooh.
Really?
Born female.
Look it up?
Born female.
I thought it was somebody else then.
Well, Canadian Spider-Man has some issues. Tyra, do you know?
With those lats, I'm going to say it's a lad.
A lad? All right.
A bloke, yeah.
Here's the funny thing.
Great.
I don't remember the answer to this one because I forgot. For me personally, so now I actually have to guess. I don't remember. It's because I'm searching like the most passable trannies, and so it's sometimes it's very difficult to keep track since this is like a week ago. I'm gonna be with Jeff on this one, they them, but I think this is an actual chick. Just with the body language and everything, the structure of the face, it's more female. But at these days, who knows? See, so there's some days I don't know. What else? Okay. Andy, Senorita or Hombre?
Well, I have a friend of mine that this person used to work for, and swears that biologically female, but I don't know. I think her husband's he when she takes him to the bar, he gets his stool pushed in. So
yeah. So that is the segment. Oh wait, I always have to do this. Oh crap, I took it.
Wait, just anyway. If you don't mind, the one before, whatever that was. Wasn't that Gina Carano? It looked like her.
No,
it wasn't her.
No.
Okay, it looks like similar. Yeah, because she's muscular too and stuff. So
I think that might have been Demi Lovato.
It wasn't Demi Lovato.
No.
Because Demi Lovato's a little bit bigger, whatever you said. But
well, it depends what era you're talking about. Because she, my daughter used to watch her on TV, and
that's who I thought it was too.
I think this was last year. That photo was last year. So, yeah, I might bring Demi Lovato. I mean, I got a lot of guys thinking that Megan Fox on this show is a dude. So that was pretty funny.
Well, no.
I don't know what she is now. Too much plastic.
Who knows? But that was Hombre or Senorita, and I always like that segment because I don't have to do the guessing, and I just like Canadian Spider-Man nod his head trying to figure out. It brings joy to me every time I actually be like, all right, this week we're going to do it, and I don't let any of you guys know. It's just like 30 minutes into the show, before the show starts, it was like we're doing Hombre or Senorita. Everyone, like Canadian Spider-Man, starts freaking out. He's like, "Oh crap!"
The key to this game is whatever Canadian Spider-Man picks, do the opposite.
That's what. But here's the thing. That's why I always make him go last or in the middle.
And see, that's why he would be a tremendous wingman. Hey, what do you think of that person? Oh, she's hot. Okay, that's a dude.
But I forgot that I keep Michelle Big Mike at the last one because we all need a laugh. We do.
Yeah.
He is the greatest American linebacker of all time.
Yeah, didn't they used to do that commercial with like the office products where they tackle someone?
Yes.
Wasn't that him?
Yeah, I think so. But tonight, now that we got all the jokes out, we're gonna get into more camping questions that I have. Man. Oh wait, hold up. Ordy said he has something. What do you have?
Okay, real quick on this. So basically, at its heart, Ombre or Senorita is a true false game. Canadian Spider-Man bucks all statistical probability with being 100% wrong. Always.
Okay,
that is like picking lotto number rare. Use your power for good.
I don't think he's gotten one right. He's maybe gotten one. I don't know.
That's what I'm just saying. You have a 50-50 shot. It's a coin flip.
So the mystery person was in fact transgender.
Oh,
Nicole Maines, the first
That's never heard of
transgender
her.
superhero on Supergirl. So,
Okay, so now in this case, I got to call bullshit on Steve because he's picking all men. So,
well,
you're not even.
I told you I'd make it difficult. I told you I'd make it difficult. I picked one girl out of this one.
And next, you're gonna get all. Next time, you're just gonna get all U.S. female soccer players,
and WNBA stars.
Actually, I would say this. In my defense, I did have. I'm going to add this into the other one. There is 2 soccer players. I'm going to throw in there. So you never know. I didn't get all the pictures in here, so it's okay, guys. It's okay. But I just, hey, Madonna looks more like a dude than all those dudes. Like that's
and
the crazy thing.
Just for the record, the Alpha Centauri delegation would like to acknowledge that Madonna is not from our planet.
No.
That is, we have no claim on that one. Sorry.
It really is a tragedy, though, because back in 1984, every guy had her picture or healthy picture in the locker.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, what a decline. It's
sad.
It is. I made the joke, but how many young guys, and I'm going to get a little perverted here, so I apologize. How many guys rubbed one out in their youth to a picture or video of Madonna, and now you fast forward to looking, like I said, to Roseanne and the thing formerly known as Madonna, and as we've gotten older, you're sitting there going, shit, maybe that kind of overweight, ugly chick in high school, maybe she did turn out to be a decent looking. I'm just saying. There's some words of wisdom I think in here that don't exclude when you're younger, just because they may not fit your desire at the moment.
Yeah. So we're going to get into camping and some good questions. Andy, this is to everyone on the panel. What are some skills that guys can pick up from camping?
Don't wipe your ass with poison ivy.
Twice.
I was not expecting that one. Oh.
Hey,
there's a moment where I was not expecting the answer to that one.
It's a good one.
There's one guy that tested it out. He's like, he's right.
Don't ever be the first guy to try a mushroom.
There you go. Tom.
Know the difference between poison ivy and a regular leaf.
There you go.
Okay, there's a maple leaf. Yes, that's okay.
Jeff.
Know which way the sun comes up. so you know where to place your tent.
That's true. I like that. That's a good one. Canadian Spider-Man, the one that has a tent camping, who goes all out to make us look bad. What are some skills that guys can pick up from camping? You're muted. You're still muted. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We'll give you a second. We'll come back to you. All right, Ordy.
He's talking smoke signals.
Hi. Present. What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the show. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. What are some skills? What are some skills that guys can pick up from camping?
Just so many. I mean, I think mostly is, and I'm going to be fucking esoteric and kind of like, whatever on it, just knowing how to be in the moment. That's when you're taking the time to not think about your fucking TPS reports or, do you have a cell signal, anything else? Just you're actually existing moment to moment then.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably one of the hardest skills for dudes to learn. Shut your fucking brain off.
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man, let's see if we can hear him. Nope, he's still muted. Smoke signals. We're going to subtitle him. He looks like he burned himself.
Canadian Sign Language?
Yeah. What? anyways, Tyron.
Were you just doing Vogue?
I'm just worried he's going to set himself or something on fire right now. But yeah, certainly don't pick up the wrong end of the stick when you're in the bush. That's when you'll learn. I feel like I burn myself every time. Every time I go camping, I burn myself. And I always carry gloves, but it's not until I burn myself. Yeah, I think so. It's a bit expected anyway for me. But the other thing I think really is self-reliance, man. When you just get out there and it's just you and nature. I like to camp as minimally as possible when I go, and I just love just knowing I got to take care of my fuel situation, got to take care of my food situation, got to take care of my water situation. It just, it's on my clock, it's on my time. I got to do it, and but enjoy doing it as well. It's self-reliance. I think is probably one of the best things I take away from it.
Yeah. Did we get to Tom? Tom.
Yes. Well, on a serious note, I actually wanted to add to Ordy's thing. That's something I find today, especially people in the electronics, they're so in tune with it. Separate yourself from that. Get away and just be in the moment around nature, because that's something that's missing a lot to release tension of your work life and the electronics and everything. Just go out and be in that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it really needs to be done because it's good escapism. It really, I miss it. I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, that's a big thing.
Steve, after you go, I have a question I would love to get the panel's opinion on.
Okay. I'll answer this question. Canadian Spider-Man, let us know in the private chat if everything's going well, and we'll get to you. I like seeing Canadian Spider-Man. He does the craziest things on this show. He eats a deer heart. He cooked a deer heart and ate it. How awesome is that? Like, man, I don't know any Canadians. Yeah. I don't know any Canadians that would do that. In fact, I don't know any Californians that would do that.
It's just a boss move, isn't it? It's brilliant. I love that.
It is. Show off. Such a show off. But for me, there's something about camping that is peaceful. I like going camping where there's no signal at all. Like, now sometimes, like, if you go camping to a place there's no cell service or anything, sometimes that can be really bad if actual injuries. But if you're with a group of people, that know camping and know survival stuff, like just being there for a weekend and just being away from, not on your phone, enjoying the atmosphere and stuff. Like my wife, she likes going hiking. I'm not a big fan of hiking unless there's like rock climbing. I'll do that crazy stuff. But it's, for me, I'm learning, hey, how about I go out and go into the nature and just hike? Like that's pretty good. But just being out in the middle of nowhere, being in nature, hearing the sounds of birds and just random noises. One of the crazy things that I love is when you're in a tent and you're sleeping and you can hear people talking or hear birds, animals in the background, but it feels like it's far away, but it's like 2 feet away. For some reason, that's the most comfortable point in my life. It's where I was like, I'm at peace. I'm hearing things off in the distance. I'm not distracted by Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, or anything. It's just me and nature and surviving. It's something really cool. And I think if guys go pick up a book about camping and survival nature stuff, like it's cool. You learn a lot from it. And there's something about camping where it's relieving. And a lot of women, they don't like it. If to them camping is an RV or in a cabin. No, me, camping is no mattress, just a sleeping bag on rocks, roots, or whatever it is, in a tent and a campfire. That's it. And then you're cooking. Good luck trying to cook a meat. You better have someone with you that knows how to cook, because if you don't know how to cook and you're cooking, I recommend red meat, not chicken, when you're cooking, because at least red meat, like you can eat it raw and you still be okay.
This reminds me very quickly of a story when I took a mate hiking from high school, and he had this amazing bushland just right at the back of his property, and we decided just to pack up, take a meal up there, camp overnight, and we may have been a little bit intoxicated. We were in high school. We were getting up to mischief, and we hiked all the way up this hill. And we were wrecked by the time we got up there. It was a real difficult climb. And we get up, we got this immaculate view of the entire city. It's just absolutely amazing. But by the time we got set up and had a chance to relax our muscles, it was getting dark. So we're scrambling to get firewood, scrambling to get ready to cook and everything, and to be able to make it through the night with fire. And we by the time we started cooking, it was pitch black. And I remember just finding this nice stone, heating it up, threw the steak on the stone, cooked it on the stone, and I was like, I had no concept of time. I was like, yeah, that's probably pretty bloody good. I pick it up and I just start eating. I was like, oh, this is the most delicious steak I've ever had. And it was so juicy and delicious. And then when we found a torch in his backpack and shone it on it, I just realized it was absolutely raw. That rock I could still touch with my hand. It hadn't warmed up at all. I'm eating just pretty much a raw piece of meat. I was like, it's delicious though. So
we call that charred rare in America.
Yeah.
From then on, I've just always eaten my meat rare. Hey, that was
Nice.
that was a learning point for me.
There you go.
On that
What was your
note,
question? Yes.
I'm going to go char myself some meat in the wilds of my kitchen.
Ooh.
Thank you, everyone.
Well,
Steve, wonderful show as always.
Thank you
Gentlemen,
for being here.
carry
man.
on.
Take care.
Thanks, Andy.
Have a good
Take
one,
care,
Andy.
man. Long time no see.
See you, mate.
So,
So
the
I
question I have,
Yes.
and
Well,
I know one of the premises of the show is
Is how to be a
especially in
woman?
regards to, well, that too, in regards to you, because without having a kid yet, part of this is how do you make young kids more into worthy men? So I am about to take my son onto his very first true camping experience. Now, we have picked Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, or I have, because we're also going to do some ghost hunting, because we both love
Scared the
doing that
ever-living
stuff.
shit out of him?
That sounds
Oh,
awesome.
well, no, he's been ghost hunting before, but
Okay.
this time we're going to do it camping in the environment. Now, I
That
have
is
my
awesome.
list that I have, but if you were to tell a new dad with his son or daughter, whatever age, what would you recommend as the one lesson you would want them to learn about camping? Would it be the fire? Would it be, the survival? What skill would you recommend a new parent or parent teaching their offspring about camping?
That's a
I think
good question.
I like this one actually because I would say it's just observation. When you're in the bush, there is just so much to learn by stopping everything that you're doing and just observe nature. Where are the birds at? What time are the birds up? What time do they go into bed? Where do they go during the day? Where are the kangaroos at? You learn so much just by observing nature. And I remember, my daughter would ask questions when we were hiking, and she's like, "Hey, Dad, what's going on with this stone? Why is it over here?" And I'm like, "It's a good question. Maybe it just got lodged from the wall." And she's like, "Well, it can't be because it's like a sedentary rock, right? But it looks like it was set up in the in the in the bank of the creek." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good point." She goes, "I think what happened is," and I can't even remember the whole story, but she hypothesized about how this stone made it from the edge of the wall into the creek bed. And then we talked about erosion, and we talked about how creeks work. And it's just, she was only quite young at that stage, but she was trying to work out why that stone didn't fit where it was in the creek, but looked like it belonged up on the creek wall. And I was like, man, that's observation right there, and you can learn so much from nature and how things work just by taking it in.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Similar to that, just learn your surroundings when you're out there, because if you're on your own or with friends, it's good to know like what berries you're not going to eat or what berries to eat. Or there's the things there, the type of ground you're on, even the smallest things, where it's the sun setting, the sun thing, as it was said earlier. Everything, learn your surroundings and be aware of everything around you, because nowadays we're so withdrawn, we're just into the electronics. Learn to be in tune again, in tune with yourself, and tune your surroundings.
Yeah.
It's very important,
100%.
because you're out there. So, yeah.
40.
Yeah, not to repeat what's been said, because that is absolutely positively the most important thing. I'm going to take second is it's a two-parter. One is firecraft, and I'm not talking about doing the hardwood, softwood, rolling a stick to make fire. Knowing how matches work, knowing how to build a proper fire, knowing how to secure matches, how to secure your whatever you're doing. And I have talked about in the past about pencil sharpener is probably one of the best survival tools you can get, because you can make kindling out of it. But one of the in addition to that, especially where I'm at, and I know, going back to Jeff's first story, securing your food, making it, not having your food near your camp, putting it up a tree, because I've got a lot of California brown bears. They're absolutely retarded. So they
are.
I can't.
Yeah, they just
hello.
It's
Is my microphone working?
There we go.
We can hear you.
We can hear
Nice.
you. Good.
But yeah, it's. If you weren't, getting back to it real quick, because it is actually the thing that when we talk about this on KLRN too, when we do our prepper shows and everything, those little 2 for $1 pencil sharpeners you get on Amazon, the old school kind. You use that, you just run a twig through it, you've got tinder. So that's part of my firecraft thing. So, but yeah, firecraft and securing food. That's, I think, like I said after you guys said, knowing your environment. I think that's probably the most important things.
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man is back. I think his mic is working. Jeff, give your question out to Canadian Spider-Man, because I want to hear what he has to say.
Okay, so say you're taking your kid out camping, legit camping, not glamping, for the first time. Outside of knowing your surroundings and firecraft and securing food, what would you recommend having a young child, doesn't matter the age, but what would you recommend for them to learn about how best to utilize camping and what will elevate their experience maybe?
From personal experience, going camping as from a young kid, and then being a Boy Scout leader and a Cub Scout leader, get them a nice, safe lock blade pocket knife, and teach them how to use that. That's always what kid doesn't like playing with knives? And then the other thing is teach them how to start fire. And before sorry guys, I literally, my shirt caught on fire.
I knew it.
Know about fire, by the way.
So there was a bit of an incident there. I got this.
Here's another notch for Canadian Spider-Man. He'll eat deer heart live, and then he'll burn his own shirt.
Yes.
What I was laughing about is before he went dark, he kind of reclined like he's doing right now. He had that kind of smug look on his face like Burt Reynolds did in the Playgirl thing. Yeah. And then to find out that moments later he caught on fire.
That one moment. Yeah. It was...
And the great part is he now has more holes in his shirt than half the people on Hombre or Senorita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safe. That's all that matters, man.
A pocket knife and fire starter. And what I like to make fires with is this Swedish steel. And I have like 6 of these. And you just scrape it and it makes sparks, right? Well, it does, except when you're on camera, but normally
it works great.
Performance anxiety, we get it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Hey, there you go. You're not so nervous in public.
Get them to play with that. It's Swedish steel. It works wet. They can't. It's not gasoline. They're not going to hurt anything. And teach them how to make fire. Use the knife. You can use a knife and scrape the steel in it, and it works too, right? Exactly, Tyron. Exactly, Tyron.
Got one here.
Woo! For me, I'm going to do this in 2 parts. Is that just sounded like a gun, like a AR-15 just a second ago? All right, Orty, I see it. Or Tyron, I don't know. At this point, who knows? To me, I'll break it down. I don't have any kids yet. Hopefully I do eventually. If I have sons, I'm going to teach them how to provide, how to start a fire, how to cut wood properly. Because there's certain way, like some people who think, like if you go to LA or any big city, they think, oh yeah, you put wood on there. No, there's a certain way you actually do it for the air to breathe through it and stuff. There's a lot of things. It's building a nice fire to cook food and keep warm. There's a science to it. And I would teach my kids, like if I had sons, how to provide the food, how to do all these things, go fishing, go hunting, whatever the situation is, how to keep the food away from animals, and how to keep whoever is around you, whether it's your family, wife, kids, or even just other bros with you, how to keep them safe. Because it's always nice that like you can go camping with like a group of guys. I guarantee you 1 out of 5 guys is going to know what they're going to do, and listen to them. It's not weird. Growing up, it looks weird because they look all nerdy with like, oh, this is how you do survival skills. Trust me, when you get older, you realize I should have listened to that guy because I could have learned a lot. And he's usually a Boy Scout, or in this case, in 2024, them scout. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
well, I want to conclude up the question when you get finished then.
Okay, yeah. For me, if I have a daughter, I want to teach them how to make the food, how to provide the meals for the guys. Because the guys, yeah, we can cook, no big deal. But if you're doing a long weekend or a week trip or however long it is, sometimes those guys are actually going out there providing, building a fire. Sometimes it takes a while to build a fire, and that's frustrating because the guy just wants to throw all the sticks and be like, fuck it, I want to go home because this is driving me nuts. I want to teach my daughters, hey, provide food, a drink, or whatever it is to the guy because he's doing the extra steps to provide for you to make this trip a lot easier. Because when guys go camping with their girlfriends or wives, sometimes the wives or girlfriend doesn't really want to go, but she's going there because you want to do this. That's the other thing. She's sacrificing her time to do that. So he's going to do everything possible, whether he doesn't verbally say it, because I know a lot of women are like, well, how come you didn't verbally say this and that? It's like we show it by actually building you a fire, doing all these things, so it makes it fun for you. Because it's that's the kind of cool thing. It's like when women actually go camping with guys, especially with a husband or a boyfriend who loves to camp, it's the guy notices it, whether he shows it or not. It's like, wow, so he wants to do something in return. I want to make you a nice fire. I want to do all these things to make you feel comfortable. Do you have enough blankets? You do this. I want to teach my sons that. Make whoever you're with, dating, married, make her feel comfortable. In return, I want to teach my daughters, if I have any, cook for him. Whether it's like a group of people, just cook for them. Because I guarantee it, oh, I will do whatever you want.
Didn't just last show we talked about how chicks are generally a better shot than dudes are?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So why wouldn't you teach your daughter to hunt?
Well, I would do that too.
Well,
I would.
Okay.
Well, here's the other thing.
You just said the whole no. You stay home and weave the basket and make waffle while I.
Well, when it comes to here. Okay, so I do have an answer to that. Sometimes, yes, women are better shots than men are. It's just scientifically, it's been proven. Here's the thing: if I have a daughter, unless she's with a guy that she's dating or married that knows what he's doing, with today's society, it's really hard to find that. That's why you watch this show, so we can help you guys. I'm not going to, I would feel less secure unless she's like very skilled, redneckish, like I don't care, one of the dudes, then okay. But it's more of like, to me, and it might change when I have a daughter, to me, I would feel more safe if she was with a guy that she was dating or married that knows what he's doing. Because you don't know. When you're camping, you're not in your element. You're in the wilderness element. Like, that's not your domain. You're in something else. So it's more of like a safety thing for me. But I would definitely teach my daughters how to hunt, how to use a bow, how to use a gun. Definitely would do that. In case she ends up dating a liberal beta simp who has no clue and is afraid of a gun, then I'd be like, all right, take my 357 Magnum, just protect him, which I'm going to end up crying at home. And then my wife's like, what's wrong? I'm like, our daughter's married or dating a simp in a beta, a soy boy who drives a Subaru.
So I want to go. As someone who has been planning on this since last year, here are the things I love. All of the answers. The situational awareness one has been big for me, because one of the first things I have started to do is build a list of what do we have, what can we take, and what do we need, and what can we get when we go to where we're going. Yep. That situational awareness is key. Now, a lot of people may scoff at this, but let's face it, our kids live in a technological age. Starting fire. You know how many videos there are on the internet of people living in the wild, like Orty's favorite wild bear, starting fires from what they find?
God, I love her.
Have them spend some time watching videos on how to start a fire, how to do certain things, because they're already familiar with it. You could just pick them up and throw them out camping, and they're going to be a little lost. They'll get it eventually because kids are still smart. They're still human. But why not utilize some of the time that they're already doing the technology-wise to something that will prepare them to give aid in that situational awareness, whether it's fire, the food, or anything else.
Yeah, I love that. It's
sorry, go ahead.
And when you take your kid camping for the first time, where you introduce them having some decisions, figure out a plan. What is the goal of the camping? Like our camping trip is going to be 2 days to start, because all he's ever done is camp in our yard. So we're going to, we picked a historic site. We're going to do, ghost hunting at night, but we also have other activities that we're going to engage in. So, be prepared and make them part of the plan if they're old enough. And if they're not old enough, maybe ask, one or two questions like, hey, what do you want to do while we're out here? And then try to incorporate that in the fun. So make it fun, make it learning, and just try to get them to understand the situational awareness, as many of you guys pointed out.
100%. Because when you get, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I was just going to say, when you take folks out camping, different folks are going to have different interests, aren't they? Right? Like some people are going to want to explore. Some people are going to want to set camp up. Like everyone's different. So I know that when I took my kids camping, I would give them challenges around the tasks at hand. It's like, all right, what do we need? What are we doing? Just like you said just now. And even if it's just we need to rig something up to protect the firewood from the rain because we're expecting showers tonight. Who's going to be on that job? And then you'd watch them develop a plan between them, hatch out a strategy for the best way to keep the firewood dry for the night. And then you can offer little solutions or, little warnings. So what happens if I get up at night to go to the toilet and I walk over here and this wire's right in front of the tent? Why are we tying it off there? And then they're like, oh, of course, yeah. And they learn as you go how to set up the camp, and you incorporate all those little bushcraft tips and tricks as you go along. And yeah, I don't know. I really found it fascinating watching my kids work together and which ones were not inclined to want to stick around the camp, but just take off and explore. So that was the one I would always get, bringing back firewood. All right, you go as far away as you can and find the biggest log and then bring it back. And that was what was fun for them. Do you know what I mean?
There's a question here in the chat.
I was going to say something, but Jeff's out for a minute, so I'll just wait for him to come back before I.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Dominguez said, "Would whiskey or vodka make a source for fire?"
Neither of them are very good. Vodka. Okay, so both of those you need to have them well over 100 proof, or at least as close, because it's not your 80 proof vodka, your bourbon, your whiskey. I mean, maybe early times, maybe, but I mean, it's just not that flammable. I mean, generally, when you have like a flaming cocktail, that's a bartender's trick too. It's when you have that flaming cocktail. Generally, you're just using Everclear to top it, and that's just for the burn. Very rarely are you using. You don't have like amaretto that's actually catching on fire. So
yeah, that answers it.
Yeah. Coming back now that Jeff's back, the one thing I'm hoping with your camping trip with the EP is that he digs it, because we talked about you guys going out and doing ghost hunts to report live while we're on Juxtaposition on KLRN, and I really hope that becomes a thing with you too.
Hoping.
Yeah.
And can I just add another quick part? It was
no.
Yeah, you can. with the younger generation, they're going to follow YouTube. There's actually a lot of YouTubers that show them camping and they teach you things. Well, there's a gentleman, I can't think of his name. He's out in Edmonton and he camps around Edmonton and just in the randomest spots, teaching you how to do this and that. And stuff. So you can actually, the younger generation can follow that too to get ideas as well.
Yeah, and while it's great to definitely get that hands on, having a little bit of pre-knowledge before they actually go do it. And the truth of the matter is, there have been times when my son has watched some YouTube video and go, "Hey, Dad, did you see this?" And I'll be like, "No," and he'll show me a video of something I had never seen before. So it can be tit for tat on who's learning what. So definitely get them involved, engaged, in my opinion.
I love what Brother John Brindle is saying. He's giving out tips on YouTube.
Nice.
In the chat, he goes, lesson number 5: how to fish with the hand grenades.
And you can fish with M80s, but it's just wrong.
He did one. Let me try to find what he said. Oh, he goes, for camping for kids, how and where to take a dump. That's a good one.
That's actually also like with your food away from camp. And
I like to do it right next to the person I don't like that I'm camping with.
Just lean against that dude's tent and just drop. Yeah.
Sorry, ma'am. I had a bunch of chocolate and milk. I'm lactose intolerant.
That stag chili just went right through me.
Yeah.
You're talking about YouTube, though.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jeff and I, we joke. I mean, we kind of joke about it, but it's like both of us, we have both ends of the spectrum of just absolute simp camping.
Yeah.
Where it's like I mean, it's just thirst camping. I like Wild Bear. She does just bare minimum. It's like that whole philosophy: ounces or pounds. Tarp camping. Then on the other end of it, you got Jeff, who turned me on to this, was yo-yo camp, which is gadget camping. Both of them are perfectly reasonable, fun to watch channels, and you get a good idea of, okay, that's my style of camping, and that's some pretty cool gear. So
you put on you brought something interesting, simp camping.
Yeah.
Here's one thing that I noticed. Now, here on the show, we don't like simps, but I will make an exception here. Is when you simp for like firearms, camping, like things that are wilderness stuff, that's okay.
Something you actually legit learn from.
Yeah, learning. You're learning. It's not like I gave this chick on OnlyFans $100. Oh, I'm learning something. Nah, really? Like, you're learning a new
carnal knowledge, maybe.
It's like when I corrected myself. Right. When I corrected myself to thirst camping, it really is thirst because
it is.
But also, I mean, you know what? You are kind of like, okay, cool. Shoot, I could totally hang out with that kind of a chick, kind of thing. And it's like when we went back to the woodworking episodes too, I got my thirst woodworkers, just these hotties, but they have really cool jigs and shit that have given me some great ideas for, and some of my, making jigs and furniture and shit like that too. So, I don't discount a channel if they're doing the dude thing and they're a hot chick, because it's not always like that, that one woodworking chick, that Korean chick that's in the tight skirts. I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. That's total. You know exactly. You start doing. Thirst. Yeah, that's thirst.
But it's like
that's
it's
a thing.
Yes, it is.
Well, here's the thing,
Spider-Man.
Like, so my wife and I do this whole. We'll get to the last question. You scuba diving over there, Canadian Spider-Man? Are you burning another shirt? That's what you're doing. But my wife and I will do this thing where we're in a car, we'll license plate. We'll pick name. Like if we see Alaska, whoever can name it, and it tallies up the vote. It's a little contest we do. And there was I won, and so she's like, all right, $2 is on the line. All right, cool. And then it turns out, no, you get to pick 2 movies. All I did was on YouTube look at gun videos. Too long. I picked long videos for a reason. My wife was bored of it. I was simping for the guns. I was like, ooh, I like that. And there was like a girl who in tight jeans, tight shirt, shooting a gun, and she looked at me. I was like, I just see the gun. I don't know who's firing it. I'm just looking at her. It's a huge Arthur. It's some big gun. I'm like, I want that. And my wife's like, where are we going to put it? I was like, I will find a way and I'll make it fit somewhere in this apartment. I will do it.
That's what she said.
But here's the last question before we get to the tip of the hat. Why is camping so important for men? Tyron.
Oh man, that's a tough one. For men in particular, I don't know. I think there is something primal in getting back to camping and being self-sufficient, self-reliant. To put yourself through challenges with nature. There's no other force greater than nature, is there really? And, I think being able to put yourself in a situation where you're forced to respond and react to changes and challenges is exciting. I think you get that adrenaline rush when things go a little bit awry, when the campfire gets away with you, or when instant flooding comes through, or, something goes wrong and you have to adapt to that. And that just, I guess, gets you out of that day-to-day mindset, and you just have to go, all right, well, this is my crisis for the moment. Let's strategize. Let's come up with an alternative. Let's get this under control so I can sleep in a tent that's not flooded out tonight, or whatever. Just being self-reliant and self-sufficient in the bush is amazing, and it really does turn on a different part of your brain, because you are tuning in to what nature's doing, and it's it's almost on a different temporal plane. Things move at different speeds. Things happen, and you become aware of things happening on a different level. It's important to readjust your brain back to that. I want to say primitive, but it's just important to reset your brain to those fundamental things around survival, provision, sustainability, and sustenance, like all of that. Just getting in touch with the core elements of survival, I think, I don't know, critical. I need it in my life. If I don't get it, I don't feel like
You don't feel normal.
Yeah, 100%.
Orty.
Yeah, hi. What was the question? I'm sorry, I've got a Neil Peart fan just blowing up my mentions. I will never know the love of a woman the way this man is pissed off. I don't think Neil Peart is the best drummer. Sorry.
So Steve, you want to ask the question again for Orty, please?
All right. So since you're so old and you have a memory loss like me,
yeah.
Why is camping so important for men?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the thing I said at the beginning, where it just gives you a chance to center, to get away from everything. And yeah, I mean, you take your fifth wheel out and you do all that bullshit. You've still got all of your problems because it's like, okay, now I've got to drain the fucking shitter and do all that other stuff. But just going out and just, even if you're glamping, but if it's tent camping, and I don't want to bag on anybody who does trailer camping, that's fine. But it's just getting out there and just getting, getting in touch. Just take your shoes off, touch the grass.
Yeah.
Just let it get some bugs on you. Get bit by something.
Yeah.
Tom.
I'm jumping on there, guys, and I love both of those things. It's just going back to being a guy and our primal needs of what men are and protective needs, and learn to. And the zombie apocalypse, man. No.
Hells yeah.
I mean, it could.
But in all reality, whatever
on my bingo card.
Yeah. It's good to be ready for anything. And it's also escaped this rat race of electronics and everything. I'm a geek. I know I love, but just getting away from all that sometimes is needed. Just centering yourself again, because we get lost in our own self, and then you can lose yourself sometimes. And I find, yes, I'm part hippie. I was raised by some hippies and stuff, and it's just to center yourself and forget that this shit exists, and just live in that moment. Because sometimes we don't live in the moment. That's something the world, I find, people don't do nowadays. They don't live in the moment. We got to live for tomorrow or this or Or you worry about what happened yesterday. No, stop. Live in that moment. And I find that really helps that.
Yeah,
100%.
Canadian Spider-Man. If he's not burning another shirt, or he's trying to figure out what the difference between a tranny and a dude is, or a woman or tranny.
Yeah.
What is a woman, really?
I'm too scared to guess anymore. Really?
Yeah, it's a question.
Okay, so broadcasting on the freeway.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say it's why it's important for men as opposed to people that aren't men, women, or it's important for men and chicks with dicks to get out camping in the wilderness to reconnect with that primal, just staring at fire, making shelter. Yes. If I didn't have this, sometimes I go out, or I'll go out in the winter and make shelter, and it's very primal, and it's important to keep on top of those skills, because if shit goes down south, as the man, you will not be able to depend on anything else but yourself.
Yeah.
Do not expect, it's not like being a girl. Other people will not help you most of the time. You have to be prepared to do it for yourself. You can't just show some leg and expect some sympathy or some help. So
I don't know. You haven't seen my leg. They're pretty.
You got to be able to do it yourself.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Canadian Spider-Man said, you have to learn how to do things and all that stuff. Good example is I worked with Gary Ambrosia for I think over 4 years now, and I finally got to work with other guys in construction, and they just told me do this and this and this, and I had to figure it out. The same thing with camping is figure it out. I've said this earlier when the show started. It's okay if you don't know the answer to something, Google it or YouTube it or Rumble it or have someone. I guarantee you're always going to have someone there that knows what they're doing. Learn from them. There's no such thing as a stupid question. It's a stupid question is one that's not being asked. For me, it's just there's something about camping that you're out in the wilderness. It brings out the masculinity. You feel like once you make that fire, you feel like you've accomplished something. You're like Tom Cruise in Castaway. And you're like, I made fire. Like you're excited. Like when they filmed that film, Tom Hanks, he was making a fire. He was so excited he finally made it. That's the beauty. You finally made a fire. You're excited. You're like, wow, I can accomplish anything. And there's something about just being out in the wilderness, to me, it's God's nature. To other people, it can be anything else. But it's just, you're there in the surroundings of your learning. You're out of your comfort zone, you're learning. And it's just, there's something about it where you get to look up in the stars. Like most of us probably live out, except Canadian Spider-Man, who probably lives out in the middle of nowhere. We don't get to see the stars.
I actually do live in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, so two people.
I'm in Vermont. We have more cows than people.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so three people. Anyone else? No. Like
so just you, really?
Me. Okay. Yep. Like when I just saw the private chat of Canadian Spider-Man. Yes, I saw it. Yeah, I saw your tent pic. I read it really fast. I was like, But anyways, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you look up in the sky at night and you see all the stars, that's peace to me. Where you're just like, wow, like all those stars. Like there's no lights, there's no nothing. I think guys need to get away from social media, get away from your phone, find your inner masculinity. There's a lot to learn from it. And if you have a dad who knows what he's doing and willing to actually teach you, because I guarantee you, all of us, if we all had kids, some of us do, we'd all teach our kids how to do these things, whether they're our sons or daughters. It's like, it doesn't matter. If I have sons and daughters, I'm going to teach them everything that I know. I'm like, this is how you build a tent. This is how, if you don't have something to build a tent, this is how you do it with your surroundings. And I just think it's cool. I think every guy needs to do camping. And I would love to do a camping with all six of you guys, even more. It'd be a fun time to just get away from our wives, girlfriends, or whoever, and just be in nature. Just learn from people. It's also, I will say this before we get to the tip of the hat. Have a bourbon.
Well, my turn.
Oh, you haven't gone yet?
That's okay. You set it up perfectly.
Okay.
Because I want you to ask the question again.
Oh crap! Now I gotta go find.
He's also old and forgot the question.
But I agree with the light pollution thing because the city sucks.
Yeah. Well, I was
just because I'm 8 months older than you, Orty.
I want to get into astrophotography, so it's true.
Well, I will say this: if you're around a campfire, have some Scotch, whiskey, or bourbon. Enjoy that, because once you go back to your house, back to your regularly scheduled days, you're gonna miss that, and you're like, wow, I wish I could do this more often. All right, Jeff, since I skipped you, whatever. What are some?
Because I have a story to go with this.
Okay.
So I want you to reframe it.
Reframe it how?
Just by asking it. No, just by asking it, so I can set up story time with Jeff, so everyone can light their campfire, grab a drink.
All right, this is story time with Jeff. No, what are some skills? Nope, that is not the right question. That is not the right one. Here we go. Why is camping so important for men? Jeff.
Okay, gather around. Got a little story to tell.
Uh-oh.
A few years ago, now I live in Vermont. When you hear the term hurricane, Vermont is not one of the first things that come to mind.
No.
It's probably one of the last states outside of maybe the Midwest when you think hurricane. Well, we had a hurricane and tropical storm blow up named Irene. We had sitting there watching movies, watching TV, having fun as a family. It was my mother-in-law who I lived with to help take care of her, my wife, her daughter, and my newborn baby. All of a sudden, there's a knock on the door, and it is the local police saying, you have 1 hour to evacuate your home, because I lived alongside the river, and there were reports that the flooding was starting to happen. The reason camping, especially for men, can be so important is you have to know how to survive. You have to know, okay, there's going to be times in your life where you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour to get out. What do you grab? What do you need? How, and you have to, and camping accelerates your thinking about, okay, this is what we need to live. This is what we need to survive. This is what we need to protect ourselves. And then after you get that core done, you can go, okay, oh shit, my $2,000 computer, let's throw that in the car, and then you start, you start looking at the valuables and going, okay, you know what? We got everything we needed together in 20 minutes. We still have another 40. Let's evaluate our higher priorities. We sent my mother-in-law up the hill, up the mountain where we lived, and we made sure we had enough baby supplies. So what camping, I think, for men does is help reinforce that idea that there are times when you're a unit as a married couple, but there are times where you need to have skills that you probably have practiced in your backyard since you were 8. When you said, hey mom, hey dad, I want to sleep out in the backyard, in my sleeping bag, my pillow, and just sleep under the stars. When that first happened, you have been priming yourself for a situation where shit hits the fan. And camping is such a great tool and device for these emergency situations because you never know when it's going to happen. You have such little prep time that what I believe camping really instills for men and women that enjoy it and love it is that readiness, that alertness that you're going to be okay, and you can convey, which I found in my case was the most important, is I could keep conveying to everyone involved, I got this. Yep. We're good. We have everything we need. We don't need to worry about anything. And as a dad, as the really only male in the house at the time, it was such a comforting feeling that not only were I easing their tensions, but I was being truthful. And it was all because all the lessons I had camping as a youngster and as a young adult, that I knew, okay, this is what we got. We're okay. And that calming presence, I think, is just so underrated at times, but it's so vital, and camping is part of that lesson.
Like, there's some people in the chat on YouTube mainly that are talking about water, which is very key. Bring extra water. You don't know how long you're going to be camping or out in the wilderness, whether it be hiking, whatever the situation is. Have water with you. That's key. Also, one thing is
that's one of the important parts of rules of 3 too.
Yeah,
the rules of 3 minutes of air, 3 hours of shelter, 3 days of water.
And also get something if you're in a place where there's a creek or a creek, depending on where you're at, or any natural water source, and don't drink it automatically because you're going to get
life straw.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. I have one, and oh man, it is amazing. It is awesome. One of the cool. Just get something that like a life straw. It's pretty cool. And
You say it's also. I know we're mainly talking about camping, and I'm going to do a little bit more into the survival aspect. Where Vermont, as backwards as it appears to a lot of people, we have a lot of mountain-fed springs.
Mm-hmm.
That the water is legit. Like the house I lived in for the longest time was fed from a spring, a mile and a half down the road, and we had tubing running, and it was the cleanest water I've ever had in my life. So knowing in your area, and I often will suggest camping in close to you, so you get familiar with where you're going, what you know, and you're always close to home in case emergency or situation like that happens.
Yeah.
But knowing your area, where you get that clean water from, and in my case, teaching my son, even around the house, that okay, here's a clean spring, here's a clean. All of a sudden, they can start picking up the information. Okay, oh, this is a clean source. This is a clean source. Oh, over here might be one. And it actually ends up. You hope you never have to use it in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
But if you know it, it can really make a difference.
Now,
going back to what you were talking about before too, Jeff, with frequent camping also helps you with priorities and triage. It helps you look at your gear and go, this is a need, this is a want, this is a nice to have. So it's like you pack your needs first. Like you were talking about, not just with, baby pictures and family, photo albums and stuff like that too. But you're sitting there going, okay, here's the actual core. Here's the shit I need to survive. We need to survive. Yeah. Now, here's my nice Coleman stove. I don't need it, but okay. So now it's like now you're like, okay, so now I can look at that 72-hour tin of survival food I have because I have room for that. Now you're looking, so it's, you're triaging your equipment.
Yeah. That's good. I like this conversation. Now, Tyron, before we get to tip the hat, you have a pretty good sized backpack.
I do. I got a whole bunch of kit here because I thought we might be going through kit tonight.
Yeah, but, it's a show and tell of Tyron right here. Hey,
mate, this is my favorite kit bag. I've had this for a lot of years and it's done a lot of action with me. But this is in its most basic form, but I do have a whole bunch of attachments that I can add onto it. Like this is my cooking attachment, and it's just on a whole bunch of webbing. This is the Ozcam design, by the way. Ooh. The camouflage. So in my little cooking thing, I got like everything that I'm going to need for meals. I got plates. I got chopsticks that I always use. Nice. I got my aluminium pans that I've got the 2 pans there that I use. I've always got my little tools, spoons, forks, knives, tin openers. I got my little gas head for my little gas stove, my teaspoon, gloves, because if I'm handling these are always getting hot. So that's typically my cooking and eating pouch.
What is it we always joke about on Keller and Jeff? My Molly has Molly.
Yeah, my Molly has Molly. I love the chopsticks idea. I haven't heard that talked about before.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I use chopsticks everywhere. They super easy.
And it's a multi-function tool.
They certainly are. You can use them. This is one of the things with all of my kit. There are redundancies in every single thing. Most things that I take in will have dual purposes. So all of that stuff that I've got with my cooking, I can double up to use for other things as well, like collecting water, for example. Or, the gloves can come in handy for multiple purposes. And I also have multiple pairs of gloves. In this one, I usually just carry like backup water. And I'll also have in there, I'll have a bag of nuts and berries, which is easy to just keep set aside, and that'll last for months and months and months without having been touched. So I'll have 2 of those so that I know that I've got water and food for a couple of days just in there. I've always got my billies, my little cooking utensils. This is my gas-only one. So nice. I've always got tea in there. Always have honey. Always honey. Honey's a great sweetener, and it's also, if you get real, raw, organic honey, unfiltered, none of the bullshit, none of the additive,
We might have lost something.
Oh no!
But finishing what he was saying, it's shelf stable, so
Yeah.
it'll keep forever.
And
Same way with maple
antibacterial.
syrup.
Yeah, yeah.
That is an amazing.
I've
kit.
heard the honey thing works wonders. Oh, he's back.
There we go.
So this is my favorite mug. This has got a vacuum seal around it, so you can hold it like that, and it's not going to burn you. It's fantastic. And then I've got
I'm jealous.
in my side pockets, I've always got spare jocks and socks. Spare jocks and socks.
Preach it, brother.
And these will always double up. Like I've got in these pants, I've got a spot for knee pads. So if I need to, I can just put those in there for knee pads. I'll keep my lights in either side. So I've always got a flashlight in that side, and I've got a headlamp on this side. And that headlamp is fantastic. This one's a multi-light setting. It's rechargeable. It'll last for days. In there as well as another pair of socks. Oh my God, so many socks. You never.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
You do not want to run out of socks. Good boots and good boots and multiple socks are super important for survival. Nice. So I've got my little headband one there that has multiple settings, so I can have the red light for night and navigation and stuff like that as well. But this thing cost me a fortune. And it's got a focal lens as well, so I can actually zoom in and out with that.
Yeah, I was going to say. You can spend so much money on camping gear, can't you guys? Like, holy shit.
You really can.
No, because my headlamp's a lot like that one too. It doesn't have the focal on the red, but it does have a hard plastic case that you can hang it as you can press the button through the hard plastic case to use it as a lantern in the tent.
I won't lie. One of the things I keep in mind is a golf rangefinder.
Oh yeah,
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Always with knives as well. I have multiple knives. I've got my Leatherman, which is always on me, always.
Yep.
This is my multi-purpose knife.
Nice.
And this is just a solid steel all the way through to the handle. So you can bang tent pegs in there. You can crush or grind with that as well.
Exactly.
Serrated and sharp. Serrated and flash. And this has the steel with it as well. So that is one of my mechanisms for starting fire. Nice. I also carry potassium permanganate on this side. No, this side is glycerol, and this side is potassium permanganate. If you mix the two of those together, you will definitely get yourself a fire.
They're on opposite sides of the backpack.
That's a really good one. You might get an inquiry if you buy those chemicals at the same time in bulk.
I like that. I have at least 3 ways of making fire, including magnifying glass. That's important, Tyron.
Yeah,
put the dog away. You're going to get a visit from the ATF.
Yeah.
So in my top pack here, I've got pens, pencils, and waterproof paper. I've got my compass, which is, of course, with my magnifier as well, so I can start fires with that one. You got to make sure that you can, because not all magnifiers on compasses will start a fire. So you have to make sure you're buying the right thing when you do that. Waterproof paper, highly recommend. Will work with pen and texture that I have for that. And a couple of pairs of glasses. So I have, polarized lenses for when I'm doing fishing and stuff like that, or it's just really bright. Always having a good pair of sunnies, like it makes a big difference. And if I'm not doing that, if I'm just chopping wood or something like that, quite often I'll just put these on because there's nothing worse than getting bark or chips of stone or wood or whatever in your eyes if you're doing anything that you'd ordinarily wear like safety glasses for at home.
Yeah.
Do it when you're camping, because it's even worse if you get stuck when you're camping.
Yep.
Yeah. I have to say that's one of the first times I've seen on a list of items to have safety glasses, and I love that.
Oh, it works wonders.
And the number of times I've gotten stuff in my eyes, pulling things out of trees or anything like that happens a lot. So with that, water, I say. So I always carry a Camel in the back of my kit as well. So that's 3 liters there. And these each were 3 liters, so that's 9 liters straight off the bat. on my hip tonight. Oh, I caught my belt.
I don't want to go, Dad.
Oh my goodness! This is my stool, my
Ooh,
little milking stool.
nice.
Nice.
And A+ on the cargo shorts. Every man should own a pair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. This is
100%.
my side bottle here. I might just take this belt off actually.
Oh, we got that one of the night.
And how do you?
Man-O-Rama After Dark.
Yeah, there we go.
So in that, I've got my little water bottle and my kidney cup for cooking,
Nice.
and in here as well. So I can just grab my belt and I'm pretty much good to go. Because I've got some nuts, some flammable stuff, paper, pencils. What else have I got? Oh, of course, another cigarette lighter. So yeah, I'll always have at least 5 or 6 ways to start fire on me at any given time.
Yep.
Another knife.
Excellent.
See, I guarantee it. So, like I've said earlier today or tonight, we don't like this simp, but what Tyron is pulling out of his bags and everything, I'm one jealous guy. I'm not gonna lie. It's all those things. It's like, I
love this.
Nothing wrong with gear simping.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. But on that note, we're gonna get to a really cool segment, and that is woo.
Tyron, thank you for sharing all that. That was informative.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for letting me.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I only have 3 names in here. We're going a little over. It's okay. I only have 3 names. If anyone has any names, you can DM me who you want to be in the tip of the hat. Because here's the thing: tip of the hat is where we get to praise men of masculinity. And some people have asked me, how come Arnold Schwarzenegger has not been mentioned? Well, he's a socialist idiot, so we don't put him in. He said, screw your freedom.
Fuck your
and guess
freedom
what?
is exactly what he said.
Yeah, fuck your freedom. Guess what? All right, you ain't getting in the hat.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck you.
Yeah. So up next is what I like to do is, and if anyone doesn't know their name, who I pull out, that's okay. We move on. We don't shame. We don't judge. Hey,
I might.
Bruce Jenner
says the guy who will burn his shirt. Okay.
Did
Miles
indeed.
Teller. Jeff.
That name doesn't ring a bell.
Top Gun.
Doesn't ring a
Here's
bell.
the thing. Okay.
Pass.
All right. Oh, that's okay. Tom.
I don't know either.
You guys. Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, sorry. I do not know.
You guys never seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah, but don't know the name.
I just watched Tom Cruise in that.
It's the guy who plays the son of Goose.
Okay.
Oh.
See? Ha 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 ha. Jeff's all like, I still don't know who you're talking about. How much?
No,
time
I've
did
seen
you
it, but I
smoke?
mean, really, it's like it's like I could tell you Anthony Edwards, no problem. That's Goose.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Divergent, I see, and I watch that, but I don't know much about him now. Yeah.
So, all right, I'll go.
Thing with Goose died.
So, to me, Miles Teller is more of he's not going to stop. You're not going to tell him no. He's going to do what he wants to do, whether it's making a film or anything. He's very passionate what he does. And I think with a lot of guys is we need to be more passionate with things. And yeah, if someone says you shouldn't do that, you know what? Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, and most of the time they're wrong.
Most of the time they're wrong, especially if it's a woman. Sorry.
Yeah. So, all right.
They just like to tell us no.
I pray that you guys know who this guy is. Michael Rooker. You guys can. What?
Is it? Al Roker.
Tyrone, do you know who Michael Rooker is?
I do not.
He was
Rennie will
in.
tell you, I am the worst at actors' names.
All right.
I am just shocking.
He
Is that
was
the
in,
I Am Mary Poppins guy from?
Yes.
Okay.
Guardians
If
of
you've
the
seen
Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, he's the guy who plays kind of like the father figure to Chris Pratt. That's okay. That's okay. Jeff.
You know, I've seen the guy in a couple different films, and I always enjoy his characters. I don't know if he's selective with his characters or not, but he seems to pick characters that are engaging. And so he's at least discerning with his art. And anyone who is discerning with their art, I find fascinating. And I won't lie, I just Googled him real quick. I had no clue this dude was as old as he is.
Yeah.
He's
He's a lot
69. I
older.
mean, nice number, but the dude's
Nice.
69. And honestly, from the roles he's had in the last 10, 15 years, I would have never guessed him to be in this age range. But that said, I do love the work that he's done. And it just tells me he takes pride in his work because he picks something that he enjoys.
Yeah. Ordy.
Never heard of her.
All right. Tom.
I don't know him personally and stuff like about what he does outside of it, but I mean he's an excellent actor. I mean, I find, like he said, seems to choose his roles quite well. I mean, I'm just looking at, I forgot, I couldn't buy the name, but like Cliffhanger, Tombstone, Days of Thunder, and of course, as most current, Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, which I loved his character in there. He's like, he's kind of at first he's kind of the evil guy, whatever. You know, it's taking Quill on, but in the end you find out he's like a father figure to him.
Yeah, and he was in Walking Dead, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he was actually Daryl's brother, actually.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, okay. All right.
See,
excellent actor.
See?
No.
I've ever seen him.
Y'all a bunch of weirdos. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Michael Roker got it. All right. No, dude's actually kind of badass.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think he played football too.
And I didn't realize he was that old. He's almost 70s old. Like, wow, he's still kicking it and doing amazing.
Let me double check that. But I think he played professional football. Hang on.
Canadian Spider-Man.
I know it's college. I don't know professional.
He did college.
Yeah, he was in Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone, was he not? Wasn't it his girlfriend that?
Yeah, he was in Cliffhanger.
Dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Nope, he didn't play football. Okay.
He didn't?
No.
Wow. Okay. Oh, he did.
He's got a hell of an acting ability there. In his role in Cliffhanger, there when Stallone, well, he didn't drop the girl. It wasn't his fault at all. Although Michael his character blamed him. I mean, the backpack strap let go. That wasn't the fault of Stallone's. Come on. Plus, she should be, if she's going to be up there, she needs to be able to take care of herself anyway. But his character, he was really angry at Stallone for that, really bitter. And I was blown away. This is when I first noticed the guy. I was blown away at how well he could portray the variety of actions and the mix of emotions around that character. And I was just really impressed with his range. And I don't know what else to say about, of course, as Yondu, I loved him in that, but he's just a really strong role model. He shows emotions. I mean, in both of his biggest roles, he shows a lot of emotions, but it doesn't come across as being weak in any way. I mean, you still wouldn't mess with the guy. So that's pretty manly. That's, to be able to do that is something everyone can aspire to try and do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of those. I've talked about it in the past with other actors who are furniture actors. They're just always kind of there. They're good, but they're always there. Roker. Okay, now that I know exactly who we're talking about, you remember him. He's definitely one of those. Oh yeah, that's the dude from. Not where do I remember him from? Is exactly where you saw him.
When he killed off in The Walking Dead, I was so sad. I was like, no. I was like,
way to spoil it.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it by now.
Good to see you, Mike.
The thing about him is he is. I've said this about a few of the guys that we picked out, but he is definitely a father figure type. He's the guy that he'll show his frustration, but at the same time he'll show his love. It's a lot of guys don't get this or taught this or learn this very well as they get older. Like I'm talking guys in their 20s that it's weird. Like the younger generation, as I'm reaching my 40s, it's weird to look back. Well, a lot of guys, they don't really get taught what it is to be a man. And when you see him, you kind of get it. Even though he's acting, you can kind of get a sense. No, he's like that in person, especially when he's playing Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's very much a father figure. Whether they never showed it in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, but you kind of get that reference. He's kind of a tough love type. And I think especially dads, sometimes you got to have tough love towards your kids and mainly towards your sons. And I know when I do have sons, I'm going to be a little tough on them. It's because I'm building character. Like it's the same thing when you guys bust my balls, especially Gary and Andy. They will bust my balls to a level that it would make other younger guys in their 20s or even younger just be like, you hurt my feelings. Well, sometimes like if a guy is busting your balls, it means he cares about you. He's there to have fun. He's there to push your limits and make you a stronger guy. That's what Michael is. He's gonna push you. And I think every guy should know that it's okay to show tough love, especially if you're a dad to your kids. I really do think that. And I think every guy should learn that. All right. We're going to go for 3 for 3 if Tyron knows this person. Or if any of you guys know, because clearly you Canadians don't know anything. Speaking of Canadian Spider-Man, he can't tell the difference between a dude and a chick.
Canadian and Serbian.
Not with that much.
Maybe he can detect. He just prefers the one.
No.
You know what Canada's really good at? War crimes.
Yes.
On that note, Representative Matt Gaetz. Does anybody know who Matt Gaetz is?
I do, and for the longest time, I've enjoyed him. I like him a lot. He is a congressman out of Florida, a young bloke. I'm not exactly sure how old he is, but he has got some balls to him. He's he threw out an ultimatum when your former House Speaker got elected. What was his name?
Which one? There's like 2 or 3.
Yeah, not the most recent one. The one just before him. The one after Nancy.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
All right, so Matt Gaetz was not particularly happy with the options for the House leadership. He did hold him to account and said, like he was leading a group of individuals to not endorse that candidate as Speaker for the House. And I think they did 15, 16 or 17 rounds to actually vote the Speaker in. And Matt Gaetz was spearing that up. So this is one of my first experiences of watching some local American politics. I was like, oh, get in there, son. Well done. And he held him for 1 year to account, said, you know, you got to deliver on this, 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 and this. If you don't, we're going to roll you. And that's exactly what he did. I'm like, shit, man. That is guts. He's a big Second Amendment guy as well. He's because he's younger, he does use the language that I relate to, which is a lot of cussing. He cusses a lot. I appreciate that. He's not afraid to call bullshit where it's bullshit. And sometimes if it requires an extra expletive to express just how bullshit that is, he'll throw that in there as well. He's not shy of that. But I like his form, and I think there should be more people in Congress in there shaking things up than just rolling over and putting nonsense through like the current speaker did, and I reckon he might be getting rolled soon as well. But anyway, that's another topic. But yeah, so I don't mind him, but I was talking about him at work, and someone said that he's got a few questionable things in his past, but who doesn't? I don't know. I haven't looked into that story yet. And, you know, of course, if you're going to be causing trouble in a machine like Washington, you are going to get shit hung on you one way or the other. And I'm not surprised that what they've found on him isn't or couldn't be worse. You know, like they surely come up with something worse than that, guys. Like, so I'm interested to see where he goes. I like his form.
So he is 41, which
there you go.
It's around there. Jeff.
I am going to pick something about him that I admire greatly.
His teeth.
And no. And the dude,
it's his hair.
I'm not even going to talk politics with him. The dude gets made fun of this every time he does something, and it pisses me off. They always show that picture of him taking his wife to the Barbie movie and them dressing up.
Oh, yeah.
I love that he did that. His wife is a big Barbie fan. My first wife collected Barbies, not the low end, the $150, $200 a piece Barbies. Jeez. She loved them. So for this dude to be comfortable enough with himself, say what you will, but to respect and love his wife enough to dress up, be part of the fun, to go see the Barbie movie, and knowing he's a House of Representatives member, he's going to be made fun of. He's like, I'm doing it. I don't think that gets appreciated enough as it should have, because that is a man who did something in a highly uncomfortable fashion for the person he loved.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Orty.
You know what? I'll back Jeff up on that. That is that's a lot bigger than anything he does anywhere else. He's mostly consistent in his voting record, and that's fine. He takes a lot of shit, a lot of false accusations against him that he won't even, acknowledge when they're thrown on Twitter. So I admire somebody who doesn't want to wade into the shit. It's I've got better things to worry about, so that's fine. Leave me to wade into the shit. That's my job. So some horrendously stupid decisions of people he's associated with in the past, but we all have those. And
feeling seen,
yeah. Well, never mind. No, but I mean, from what Jeff said, that's actually the manliest thing he's ever done. That's a stand-up dude. That's just, taking one for the wife. Absolutely. I can admire that.
Yeah. Tom.
I don't follow much for the American politics being Canadian here, but I do. I'm going to back on that, knowing that is that's a pretty stand-up thing to do for your wife, the one you love. So that's just learning that now. It's like, yeah, they got to respect that at least. So.
Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, I have no idea who the fella is. Yeah, sorry.
Well, if you're American or Australian, you would know.
Kevin
McCarthy gets dressed up as Barbie. Canadian Spider-Man would recognize him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin McCarthy is the name of the speaker that he rolled.
That's who it was. That numbskull.
Yeah.
The thing about Matt is I don't want to get political with him, even though I really do tip my hat to him when it comes to politics. He stands his ground. It's when he did the Barbie thing, like I was like, you know what? Like it reminded me, like if I have daughters and they want to do a tea party or whatever, and they're like, you got to be in character.
You dress up for it, 100%.
Knowing me. Here's the thing. I've seen have you guys seen the video around where The Rock has his daughters put makeup on his face and stuff, and he gets ridiculed for it? I'm like, dude, he's doing something for his kids that makes them. You can hear his daughters giggling. You don't like. It's a certain giggle that I'm never gonna know until I have, especially kids one day.
My stepdaughter loved braiding my long hair.
Well, I don't have that going for me. So
yeah, sorry, that's kind of a little there.
Talking about that rock thing too, that's when you really kind of like I mean, the alpha male fucking grifters, influencers who all had a problem with that. That's when it's just like, you know, okay, you have just shown that you are the exact polar opposite of what, you know, you're Jack Murphy cuck level at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
gosh, I haven't heard his name in a long time.
Oh, he will always be my, you know, if you look up cuck in the dictionary, there's Jack Murphy.
Yeah.
So that's
the thing that what I get about Matt is he's willing to sacrifice his time for his wife, and he's not afraid to get a little embarrassed. If he's going to dress up all Barbie and stuff just to go see a movie, you know, have fun with it, because I guarantee you his wife is like, he did that for me. She's going to talk about that for a very long time.
You know, he got laid that night.
Oh yeah. But here's the thing. She's going to go to all her girlfriends and be like, like, they're all gonna be like, what did your husband do? What did your husband do? It's like, oh, that's cool. He didn't do anything. My husband dressed up in Barbie to go see a Barbie movie with me. Like, dude, he earned brownie points and he got made fun of it. I don't care. It's the same thing when it's like kids. Like, a dad is gonna do something especially for his daughter. Like, I've met a lot of guys who have daughters. They dressed up to go to prom. Like, their daughters asked them because they didn't get asked to go to prom, which is sad. I didn't go to prom because I was homeschooled, and it would be either my brother or my mom going to prom with me.
All right, I had 2 dates, so I don't know what that's like, Steve. I have no understanding of that.
Yeah, it's that point where it's like a man is gonna, like, especially where he just goes, you know what? I'll dress up to go see a movie with you, whether it's stupid or not. My wife wants to do this, I'm gonna go do it. It's just 2-3 hours 4 hours max, and you'll enjoy it. It's fun. I don't know, it's just for him to actually stand up for what he believes in is another thing. Like, you know what, you don't have to believe in everything what we believe in, but stand up for it. Like, and also own up. If you make a mistake, just be like, hey, I screwed up. Cool, respect. On that note, we've gone a little bit past. It's okay. I want to thank everyone, Tyron, Tom, Jeff, Canadian Spider-Man, Ordy, and Andy for being here talking about this whole camping thing. It's fun. Tuesday nights really makes my night because it's just, I get to hang out with you guys, and it's a lot of blast. Last week's poll, we didn't do a poll this week because I forgot. But last week was who has the manliest beard? Does anybody know who won that poll? Here, I'll give you the names right quick. Jason Momoa, Chris Hemsworth, Jake Gyllenhaal, and me.
Well, the answer is obviously me.
You were leading that checked, so
Jake,
you think Jake Gyllenhaal? Who do you think won out of this poll?
You were leading last I checked. I say Momoa, maybe, but
all right, Momoa.
He looks so different, like with and without a beard. Hey, like,
I know. He looks like a man child.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with Momoa's beard is it's a struggle beard. You know, it's like his head has invested all that time into the fucking shitlocks that it just kind of gave up on the beard. You're just kind of here, have a beard, but it's not like, it's not full, it's not lush, it's just, here's some shit for your face.
I'm just saying, I sleep with my beard outside the covers to let the air flow.
Yeah. I should do a poll where's the panelist. I should do that next time. So next week I'll come up with one. But I actually won that poll.
I got one.
There you go.
Nice, you did. Good.
I only put me in there not to be like, oh, look at me.
They were sucking.
I was like, I need to have something. I have a beard. All right, I'll put me in there. And I was not expecting me to win at all.
Coach.
I wasn't.
I miss
Let's
mine.
applaud Steve for the ability to grow hair on the chin, but not on the top of the head.
Yeah,
I
you know
got
what?
a poll for you,
Now that you
Steve.
mentioned it, Jeff, Steve is the opposite of Momoa.
Yes.
His head has invested all of the hair growth into that stunning beard of his, and just said fuck it with the dome.
I actually did start growing my hair out, and I had a bunch of like Gary's like, you have a bunch of gray hairs in the back of your head. I was like,
you're not Jane, are you?
cool. And I had to actually shave it just because it was getting annoying. It wasn't even that long. I was like, I'm gonna shave it. I like having my bald head. But what was your poll there, Canadian Spider-Man?
Who has the best knife? Crocodile Dundee or Rambo?
Ooh.
Oh, Dundee.
Dundee.
Oh, it's Rambo. It's Rambo.
Dundee.
No, fuck all that. Fuck all that survival knife bullshit.
Dundee.
All knives are survival knives.
What does the Australian say?
It's not the size that matters. It's how you use it.
Yeah, I gotta say it's probably Dundee's knife because that was a knife.
Yeah. Classic Bowie knife.
Yeah.
Not even Rambo. No love for Rambo, man. Okay, I see how it is.
I want to go with
everyone
Rambo.
would
I'm going
have
to say Rambo myself. That knife was amazing.
There you go. Canadian stepping out.
You know
But
why
I wanna
Rambo's
think-
knife sucked? The fucking compass always fell off. Always broke.
Well, wait. Are we now? Which Rambo knife we talking about?
The original.
The original.
No. Oh, the original one?
Yeah.
Not Rambo 3, where it's 20 inches long.
No. We're
No,
talking the
the
original
everyone-
survival knife with the block serration on it,
that
barely
everybody
held
knows.
an edge. The fucking compass fell off after 2 outings. No, fucking yeah.
Yeah, but his version.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the made in China crap. We mean, the movie version, the good version.
Yeah. Even then.
Well, anyways, I might make that in a poll next week. We'll see. I might bring some other people in. Who knows? I might put me in there. And Tyron. I might put Tyron in there. We all have knives. I have a Rambo knife. It's pretty awesome. I like it. But
I'll take my son's
updates.
halberd.
Oh. You know what? How about I bring out the Braveheart sword? You know what? Game over.
That's not a knife.
This is a knife. But on that note, I want to thank everyone who's being here, including the guys who are doing a show and tell of all their knives. I don't know what next week's episode is going to be, but if you want to keep updates, go to on X and go to @NotRancorsteve, and I will have an update this weekend of what the topics will be. But there is a new show I'm starting up in May 10th, the second Saturday of May. I'm going to be doing a podcast show, I guess. I don't know. Of every other Saturday, it kind of balances out with Lego Build, called Men of God, and it's where if you want to dig into the Bible and get to hear what we talk about and do all that stuff. There's been some people that have been asking me about it, and I was like, might as well start doing it. I know on this show we don't talk about religion as much and all that stuff, and I know some people who are on this show are religious. It's an open invitation to watch us. There's some people that have been on this show that want to be on doing this, so I'm opening that branch out. So there's going to be a new show coming out soon in May. Will be interesting. We'll see how it comes out. So it's a little taste of everything, and that show will be a little bit cleaner because we're getting into the Bible, religious. We're not. It's not going to be like Man-O-Rama where we talk about dicks and boobs and all that stuff and cocaine, because Orty loves cocaine.
Fucking love cocaine.
I think Orty's hero. I think I've narrowed this down. Orty's hero is Scarface.
No, John McAfee.
No.
Okay.
No, it's not even John McAfee anymore. It's Amo.
I always, whenever I talk about Orty around other people, because they're always fascinated. People who watch the show, they're always fascinated by Orty. I don't know why.
It's so weird. I like it. I mean,
it is, but I always picture him like with Scarface, with his desk and his table with cocaine and his little machine gun. Like that's what I picture Orty.
Well, minus the machine guns because his AK-47 can't be delivered from Canada.
Yeah, my fucking SKS. Yeah. But
on that note,
no, but my actual hero is John McAfee.
Hey, that's a good hero. But I do want to thank everyone for being on this panel. This has been very fun. I have a blast every time. Just whoever comes on, it's a lot of fun. We will be here next week, doing some topic. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know. We'll talk about it, guys, and then something fun, something to kind of kick back and have fun. I don't know when I'll do a Lego build. I don't think it's going to be this weekend. I was busy this weekend. I wanted to kind of take a break and just relax a little bit and focus on this show. But on that note, you guys have a good day on YouTube, Rumble, wherever you're at. On that note, ciao.
Night.